Pat Riley said something many years ago. I used to have it up on my board when I was a head coach in Sacramento, and it talked about the evolution in this game and how you go from a nobody to an upstart. And you go from an upstart to a winner, and a winner to a contender, and a contender to a champion. And the last step is after you're a champion is to be a dynasty. So we're not satisfied.
Still working, still grinding, still shooting for the stars. Shannon, will Denver indeed turn into a dynasty?
Skip, is really hard to tell because injuries can derail everything.
Yeah.
But they do have, the players are young enough. Jamal Murray is young, and they got their core guys tied up for an extended period of time. Jokic is in the first year of that max contract.
Yep.
I think Jamal Murray has a couple of years left.
Yep.
The question is Michael Porter Jr., because sometimes it looks like his back is really bothering him.
That's how they got him, is because nobody else would touch the bad back.
Yes,
you know?
yes. And so, you got KCP for another year.
You do.
Bruce Brown is probably going to opt out. The question is, are they going to be willing to get in the bidding war? Because, Skip, he's going to make himself a lot of money based on the way he played in the regular season and the way he played in the postseason. And that's what happens. It happens in any sport. Anytime you win, I'm going to go get some of the pieces if I can. I will take them away from you. I'm going to take some of those building blocks. I'm going to make that house fall.
Yeah.
And so that's what you have to worry about. Are the guys going to be equally as hungry?
Yeah.
Because, Skip, remember, they got put out in the first round last year by the Nuggets. Excuse me, by the Warriors.
Right.
And so they're like, hold on. And so each year it's a process. And just because you won this year doesn't mean you win next year. Just because you're talking about it's a step. And he said, it's the steps that you got to take. Just because we got put out in the first round doesn't mean we automatically make it to the second round. We got put out and so forth and so on. But, Skip, it seems to me, and I'm only outside looking in, that these guys sincerely, genuinely love each other.
Yeah.
Everybody knows there's a pecking order, and there's nothing to challenge Jokic for his supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Jamal Murray is a good player in his own right, heading toward a star player, heading toward a superstar, he ain't Nikola.
No.
The question that you run into, Skip, and the reason why Scotty was smart enough to know, I'm not Michael Jordan, so therefore there is no reason for me to challenge him for supremacy. Now he says all this stuff now, but
Yeah, I know.
You covered him. I'm old enough to remember when Scotty actually got there.
Yeah.
So a lot of times what happens, Kareem and Magic lasted as long as they did. Why? Each guy was okay. I'm cool with it. Hey, Cap, when I had Magic on my podcast, he said, hey, I just asked him, where you want the ball? When you want it, where you want it.
Mm-hmm.
I do what I do, you do what you do. I kept him happy.
Yep.
Shaq and Kobe, they underachieved. They owe us 5. They owe us 6 championships.
Yeah.
Because they were in their absolute prime.
They were.
Kobe was like, he won his first championship at like 21, 22? They supposed to have years. Shaq, if Shaq had stayed in shape, if he looked back at it now and says, if I'd have done what I'd have done, there's no question in my mind, Skip. They supposed to be a 3-peat. They supposed to have a 4-5-peat.
Yep.
Skip, if you ask me, because I think teams are going to gear up. Are the Lakers healthy? Are they going to be better? They have a better seed? Sure. Hold up. Somebody said, Skip, I remember Tampa. You remember Tampa said, Skip? Oh, we're going to be back. We're going to be better than what we were. This was our first year. Tom ain't going to know the system, and we know. And they never made it.
A bunch of them took hometown discounts to run it back.
Yes. So, Skip, if you ask me right now, say, Shannon, are they going to become a dynasty? I'll say no.
I'm with you on this. I tried to get to dynasty because it sets up perfectly, because I'm looking at the ages. And
how old is Jokic? Like 26? 28? Okay.
Aaron Gordon's 27, Jamal's 26, Michael Porter Jr. is 24. All the contracts are in place except the ultimate thorn in Spo's side, who's Bruce Brown. But could they re-sign him?
Maybe, sure.
Maybe does he want to run it back? Did he have such a great time with this team? Because I did love what Coach Spo did say about them, because he paid the ultimate compliment to them. He said, I said it, but they are one hell of a basketball team. They play the right way. They compete. Mm-hmm. They are well coached. Mm-hmm. Ditto. And they have a strong culture. So for this season, they deserve this. Well, he added in strong culture when they got all the props for strongest culture in pro basketball is the Heat culture. Right. Well, he's saying, well, hold on just a second. I'm going to acknowledge theirs because starting with the big fella it is rock solid culture. There's no diva. There's no dissension that I can see. It's not visible to they all are coachable. They take their seats when they're asked to take a seat.
Yeah. I think the thing is, here's what's going to happen. Let's just say for the sake of this argument, Skip, all of a sudden Jamal Murray started making all-star teams. He started making all NBA a la Kobe.
Yeah.
You see, what are we challenging if you're not a Finals MVP? You're not an All-NBA player. You're not an All-Star.
Okay, I got it. But what do you tell me about Nikola? He's reluctant scorer.
Yeah, but
so will he be happy if Jamal starts averaging 42 points a game?
No, but I'm saying the question is, will Jamal Murray start to say, this my ish?
Okay, maybe. But I don't see that from him yet because Joker's actually letting him say whatever he wants to say. I mean, I think he knows he's the closer.
Man, look here, Skip. Jamal Murray. Yo wants to look up there, wants to see his wife. Yeah. He wants to see his baby girl. Yeah. And he's like, I got 2.5 hours to do what I need to do so I can get them home, get her in the bed. And get back to Serbia. Yeah. That's what's on his mind. He ain't trying to Skip. He ain't building no brand. He's talking about no commercial, no endorsements.
No social media.
He ain't trying to do none. He ain't trying to do none of that.
Okay, so I told you to open the show. They bore me to tears. But I like to quote from Josh Kroenke, who's the son of Stan, who's the sort of president/governor of the Nuggets. Yeah. He says after the win last night, they can keep calling us boring. We keep winning. Yes. Okay, well, that could be. That they might just bore me to tears all along the trail and win another championship and maybe a couple more. I don't see dynasty because of this. I'm going to go back to your man, LeBron James, age 38, year 20.
Right.
4 straight times they had him right where they wanted him. LeBron did not play his best basketball in those fourth quarters because he went 7 of 23. He went 1 of 10 from 3 in those 4 fourth quarters. But my point is, it wasn't all his fault. They just couldn't make one play. They just needed one play, one shot, one here, one there. It came down to LeBron had the last 2 shots, and they guarded the hell out of both of them. Right. And he winds up not even being able to get the ball at the rim because he didn't have time the first time. And the second time, Jamal jumps his route and actually pulls on his ball side and actually starts pulling the ball away from him because he knew exactly where he was going. Right. And then he yanked on it enough that Aaron Gordon got the easiest block in the history of blocks. Right. So LeBron couldn't get that shot up to the rim, nor could he get the foul call. But my point is, they had him right there 4 straight times. They're right in the game in the fourth quarter. Well, if somebody can cash, if Austin Reeves can hit a shot, if Schroeder can hit a shot, nobody was able to make the shot, and Jamal kept making a lot of the shots in those games. Right. But tell me there was a blowout there. No. I know they swept. Right. But, man, they go to the wire. But, and I'm saying I'm not seeing dynastic there. Right. Because the Lakers got a real shot. I think LeBron's going to be very good if he has a little cleanup surgery. We still haven't heard about that. I'm sort of, the clock is ticking. Does he need some cleanup ankle surgery? My point is, he's got to be a little healthier next year. And I think they will work around him to keep Austin Reeves, obviously, and keep Hachimura. And if you give them a training camp to go, I just think they're going to be really good. I could see they'd be a little better than this team.
It's like, there was something, Mike, I remember after we won our first one, we beat the Packers. And when we came back in the offseason, he said there's been a lot of teams that's won these things one in a row. He says if you want to be special, if you want to be remembered, we've got to back it up. Yeah. He said, now what we did last year is not going to have a bearing on what we did this year. And so we came out, Skip, we wanted to be special. We knew there are a lot of teams that won one. Oh, they're the Super Bowl champs. But no, to repeat, because you have to run that gauntlet, and you're everybody's measuring stick. Yep. They beat you. You see, that's the defending champs. You see how well you played. You see what you're capable of. Yep. That's the target. They're no longer hunting. They're the hunted. Yep. And so now everybody's measuring stick. It doesn't matter. Orlando. It doesn't matter. If you're Detroit, you're the measuring stick to say, see, I remember a couple of years ago, the Denver Nuggets was in the very same position that you're in. Okay. And you see what happens. It's a very fast turnaround. How hungry are the guys going to be to repeat? Okay. Do you have the same burning desire and passion to repeat as you did to capture it in the first place? Okay.
I liked the seeds that Michael Malone planted immediately after the game. We're not, he said it on the court, we're not satisfied.
Skip, you grew up in Oklahoma, right? Did your mom plant a garden?
No.
My grandma used to plant a garden, plant some seeds.
Yep.
Sometimes they didn't take root.
Yeah.
Just because you plant those seeds, that don't mean they're going to grow.
Yeah. No, I got it. But he had time to rehearse that speech.
Yeah, of course.
Because they just knew they're going to win, and yet they almost gave it away.
When you got 3-1,
That's
you
what I'm
start
saying.
thinking like, you know what?
How
What am I
should
going to
do
do? What am I going to
this?
say?
Yeah, what
It's
should
not
I
like that
say?
in football, Skip. You're like, you think about like, if we win, but it's one game. And a bounce here and something that fluky happen. A guy catch the ball in his helmet.
I know, but they were 9-point favorites, and he
Yes.
pretty much knew we got this.
Yes.
They can't play with
Well,
us.
I thought going in, I thought they had the better team.
Yeah.
And the Heat were going to have to continue to play. In order for the Heat to win this series, they needed Milwaukee Jimmy Buckets.
I don't know what
That guy.
happened. That
Now,
guy.
that guy, Skip,
Yeah.
you're probably going to take this thing 7 games.
Yeah, I agree. Heck, I would have taken
You'd take
Knicks
6
Jimmy Buckets, right? I would have
would've
taken some of Boston Jimmy Buckets. Remember in the first two against
Yeah,
Boston? he had
your first 2, Jimmy.
30, 35 and
'Cause
27.
you didn't love him after the first 2.
Well, how can you love the last 10? He just turned back into a pretty good player.
Right. Okay.
Well, guys, speaking of the chance of a Denver dynasty, they'll have 9 players under contract next season, assuming Brown turns down that player option. Joker,
will.
he's locked up for 5 years.